Very good morning to all of you. And today we are discussing about the topic of application of SPSS in data analysis. So this session is mainly meant for the MSW students who are currently doing the course. So in our university, SPSS has been included in the curriculum in the last few years already. So this is emerging as the main uh, tool for statistical analysis and statistical test. So it is very much relevant for getting to know about the software, and it will help you for getting uh, statistical result and also use for our research purposes. Okay, so let me introduce the software to all of you first. So I'm starting with the introduction. Okay, introduction to SPSS. I hope you can see the slides in your um, device. Okay, so SPSS means it is a statistical package for social science. So it is a mainly used for statistical results, statistical procedures, and statistical functions, and also mathematical functions can be done through this software. Okay, so uh, we will know about the features of the software. First one is comprehensive system for analyzing the data. So it is comprehensive system because it contains a large and enormous features, procedures, and all is there. We know when we study about the QT, quantitative techniques and statistics and all, it may take to solve a simple problem, it may take some 50-60 minutes, and also if it is a complex statistical procedure, it may lead to some days, okay, some 10 days, 20 days it may take for getting a result. So SPSS helps you'll get the result within just one click. That is the merit of the software. Okay, so it is a comprehensive system for analyzing the data. So we can do enormous analysis by using the software on the given data. Okay, next is flexible for statistical analysis. So we all know that this software is meant for statistical analysis. So it is highly flexible because this software is designed to make the data flexible for from one analysis to another analysis, okay, without changing the input. Okay, so it is very flexible for statistical analysis because output and input are separately shown. Okay, next, mainly this software is mainly used by market researchers, health researchers, survey companies, government, educational researchers, marketing organizations, data miners, and others. So mainly, market researchers use the software for getting knowledge about their products. For example, a car manufacturer want to know about which which color of the car. If they produce a particular type of car more, they want to know about the taste and preference of the customers or in the public. Okay, for that they need to know the most preferential color of the public. So what they will do, they used to prepare a questionnaire or something like that. They will do a study, then get a result, or get the data from it, work on it in the SPSS, get a result, and based on the result they will do the production. Okay, so market researchers is SPSS is very much useful for market researchers and health researchers. Now health research is very much important in this COVID-19 era. So most of the health researchers use this software only for extracting the results. When survey companies use it, Then government also uses the software for getting the results based on the, we all know that, but um, the plan of action of government is budget, right? So SPS is also used for that budgeting decisions also. Then education researchers also uses this software. So mostly research software, we can call it as a research software, okay? Because all the researchers uses such statistical software for getting the result from the available data, okay? Next we are moving on to it also has performed highly complex data manipulation. That is, we can manipulate the data. It, if it is highly complex, also SPSS can do all the um, complex data manipulations in the platform. Okay. Then also complex analysis with simple instructions. Okay, that's very much important because we can analyze the data by 1 or 2 steps. Okay, within 1 or 2 steps or within 1 minute also we can uh, analysis a given data with simple instructions. We didn't go for a lengthy instruction and all. We need not wait for a long time and all. It is within the lifespan of a single click. Okay. Next, design for interactive and non-interactive users. SPSS is designed for interactive users and also for non-interactive users. Next, we are going to the salient features of SPSS. Okay, it is easy to learn and use. Whether the software is comprehensive, if the software is comprehensive also, it is very easy to learn and use because the words used inside the menu bar and all, it is very easy to understand. We should have the basic knowledge of quantitative techniques and also the subject matter of research methodology. We can easily learn the software and we can easily use the software. Okay. Next is full range of data management system and editing tools. We can manage the data with all the facilities. We can store the data. Okay, we can store the data in a particular format, this .sav format. Okay, we can store the data, we can manipulate the data, we can derive an output from it. Okay, we have all type of editing tools are there. Okay, edit tools. Likewise, we used to see in that Word, Microsoft Word, Excel, and all. Edit, cut, copy, paste, and all. It is there. Okay. Next is in-depth statistical capabilities. So I think I so far I came across SPSS is one of the major software that has in-depth statistical capabilities. It covers all the statistical procedures and statistical capabilities. We can do all statistical tests, functions, and all. We can do it in the software. Next, scores of statistical and mathematical functions. It contains all statistical functions and functions and all. We need to have a set of procedures. So next we come across with the scores of statistical procedures. For doing all this tests, we have to follow step-by-step process and procedures. Okay, so SPSS contains scores of statistical procedures. It is a major feature of SPSS. Okay, it has scores of statistical procedures. Next, we are coming across flexible data handling capacity. Okay, it has a salient feature. It is flexible data handling capacity. It can store the input. It can also store the output separately. Input and output can be stored separately. Function, if we transform a given data, the transform data also can be saved separately. Okay, so it has a flexible data handling capacity. Then read data in almost any format. Read the data in almost 30 to 35 formats. Like we know the format in Microsoft Word .docx format, .doc format, and also it reads the format of .xlx, that is Microsoft Excel, isn't it? So all the format, almost all the format files can be taken in the software. Okay, it reads. The thing is that we need to import the file to the SPSS. Next, offer complete plotting, reporting, and presenting features. It has the features of plotting, reporting, and presenting. Okay. Then it has a spreadsheet for entering, modifying, and viewing data files. I think you all are familiar with Microsoft Excel. We can see a spreadsheet in that, right? So likewise, we have SPSS also has a spreadsheet for what? It's for entering the data, for modifying the data, and also for viewing the data files. Okay. Last one, it has interactive graphics. We all know that we used to present charts, uh, diagrams for giving better communication of data, better communication of information, right? So it is actually it has an interactive graphic facility. Next, we are moving on to data uses of SPSS. Sorry, uses of SPSS. Mainly, there are three uses of SPSS. Three uses of SPSS. First one, data collection and organization. Next one is data output. Next one is statistical text. The main three uses of data collection and uses of SPSS are data collection and organization, data output, and statistical analysis. Okay. First, when we discuss about data collection and organization, data collection, when we are uh, doing with study, we used to give a questionnaire to the public. We'll collect the feedback from them. Then we used to record the data in SPSS. We can collect the data in the SPSS. Then we can organize the data based on the ascending or descending order. Right. We can organize the data on ascending order or descending order on the type of the variable or on the type of the measure, etc. Okay. Clear. Next, we are going to the data output. Based on the output, we can also save the output. How? Based on the instructions we are giving in the SPSS, we'll get the output. If there is a data given in the SPSS, we include the data in the SPSS. We want to know about the numerical data, mean of the data, median of the data, and mode of the data. We can get from the software by using the instructions given to the SPSS. Okay, we'll get the output. Then we want to know about the variance and standard deviation, and we can also derive from it. Okay, so separate output can also be saved separately from the input. Okay, the input will be shown separately, and also the output will also be shown separately. Okay, it has different window for depicting the input and also the output. Okay, next is statistical test. Statistical test. We all know, we have studied in the subject matter of research methodology that we used to do several statistical tests like ANOVA, one-day sample test, paired sample test, and all. Okay, so different types of statistical tests can also be we can also apply in the SPSS with the help of SPSS and derive the result out of it. Okay, so moving on, benefits of SPSS. Benefits of SPSS. Benefits of SPSS. First benefit is effective data management. I have already discussed about it. We can save it. We can save output and input separately. Okay, so we can, if we want to, if we save the input separately. Again, if we want to derive another result out of the input, we can use the same input only. Okay, irrespective of the output we have taken earlier. Okay. Next is wide range of options that I have also told you about wide range of options that we can transform a one variable to another variable. Okay, and also analyze a variable with another variable, and also the same variable can also we can also analyze with the different statistical options. Next, better output organization, that also have explained output can be served separately. With from the output we can also derive another data, another result. Okay, then next important benefit is exporting data. Okay, okay, we can export the data to another software like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, or any LibreOffice Writer, LibreOffice Calc and all. No problem, we can export the data to it. Okay, for better reporting. Okay, it is for better. This option is mainly provided for better reporting of the results. Next, transfer result to other programs that I have also already related to the exporting of data. Next, we are moving on to the software. Let's see. We can see this type of an window, spreadsheet window. We can when we open the SPSS window, it will come like a spreadsheet. See, I hope you can see the window, right? Okay. So just see, we used to call in Microsoft Excel, it is one box is called one cell, right? In Microsoft Excel, we used to call this one box as a cell, right? In SPSS, we used to call this box as a case, one case, right? Okay, so each box is a case. So don't forget that each box is a case, right? Each box is a case. So next, see, you can see on the top of each column, it is written VAR, right? It is written VAR. VAR stands for variable. VAR stands for variable. And on the left side, on the head of each row, it is given the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, shows each respondent or each questions in the questionnaire, or it is called each schedule. Fine, it is the number of respondent, questionnaire, or schedule. Okay, here, okay, if we take in the questionnaire from each respondent, we can enter the details of each respondent under each variable, right? Next is this on the below, we just see two types of view, right? Data view and also variable view. What we are seeing now is data view. Here we can enter the data in this form. Okay, I'll explain with the help of the software, and also another view. We have another view. It is called variable view. Variable view will be like this. Okay, variable view will be like this. See, like the same data view, but it's a little difference. See, on the top of each column, in the data view, it has variable. Now we have to define each variable in the variable view. First, we have to know about the name of the variable. Next, type of the variable. Next, width of the variable. Then, if it is a numeric variable, we should explain about the decimal places of the variable. Then label, values, missing columns, the alignment, measure, and row. We have to explain each variable under these categories. Clear? Okay. So I will move on to the software. Just wait. Okay. So moving on to the software. See, so I have already told that see each cell is called a case in SPSS. So this one is a case, this is a case. Okay. Okay, fine. So see, it is a variable. This is the first one, first variable. This is second variable. This is third variable. Like that, it goes on. Then this is first respondent, second respondent, third respondent, fourth respondent or schedule. Okay, fine. So if you want to enter a data, first we need to define the variable. Okay. Before that, we'll go to the data view. Likewise, in all softwares, we have a title bar. Okay, it shows the name of the file we are saving. Okay, that is untitled 2. It is the name of the file. Okay, next we are moving on to the menu bar. See, file. First option is file, edit, view, data. See, transform, analyze, direct marketing, graphs, utilities, add-ons, window help. Like all other softwares has, we have the several type of menus. See the file menu, new data can be opened, syntax, output, script. See open, we can open a project, we can open a data, internet data, we can open a syntax, output, script, and all we can open. Then we can also open a database with the help of this SPS, new query, edit query. Okay, fine. Then we can read a text data in this SPSS. Okay, then save all data. We can export. I have already told you about the exporting of data from SPS. You use this option for exporting a data. Then collect variable information. See, okay. Recently used data can also be taken from this. Okay, fine. Then okay. Then going for edit option. See, undo, redo options are there. Cut, copy, paste variables, clear a variable, variable, insert case. Okay, all these are available in the edit menu. Then view, we can view the status bar. Then if any tools, data editor, if you want, you can add, if you want to customize the toolbar, that also can be included in the software. Then menu editor, fonts, grid lines, value labels, etc. also can be taken from the view menu. Next is data. Data. It is all about the for organizing the data. Okay, it is all about the organizing the data that we are entering in the data view. Okay, see, define the date and time of the day. We can define the date and time, and also in the see, I have told you about the data can be organized in ascending and descending order. See, we can sort the cases in ascending and descending order. When I explain with a question or problem, that time I will explain it. Okay. Then we have another menu called transform. Transform menu is always used for. It is mainly used for getting a new variable from an existing variable. Okay. For getting a new variable from an existing variable. So transform is by word it means transforming a variable from an existing variable. Okay. Then we are going for analyze menu, which has a number of statistical analysis and statistical tests. See, descriptive statistics are there, custom tables are there, compare means. In compare means, simple mean is there, one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, see, paired sample t-test, one way ANOVA is there. Okay, univariate, multivariate is there in the general linear model. Next, mixed models are also there. We can correlate between the variables. Bivariate is there, partial variate is there. Okay, then regression, correlation and regression are I have studied in this quantitative techniques that also can be done through with the help of SPSS. Then okay, non-parametric tests can also be done in SPSS. Okay, with the help of SPSS. Okay, and all it is given, all the statistical analysis can all done with the help of this analyze option. Okay, so analyze menu is used for doing the statistical and mathematical analysis. Here, then we go into graphs. We can build a chart builder. We can build a chart in the with the help of SPSS and also pie chart, then diagram, bar diagram, and all. You can use this option for getting the chart. Okay. Okay. Next, I'm moving on to variable view. Okay. I'm moving on to variable view. So in this variable view, we need to define the variables first. Okay. Variables means, see the name of the variable we can enter it over here. Then its type, then width, decimals, label, value, missing, column, align, and measure. So I will explain with the help of a question. Okay, I have shared 3 questions in the WhatsApp group. So take your WhatsApp. Take your WhatsApp. It is there. Is there in the question? Just see. See. Take question number 1 from the WhatsApp. I have shared it. I hope you have taken question number 1. That is program number 1. Create a table including, just see the question. Okay, just see the question, go through the question once. Okay, create a table including the relevant details of employees of a firm, namely employee ID, employee name, basic pay, extra benefits, age, test mark, etc. So in the question we have given, it is given the name of the variables. What all variables we have to create? Okay, why this employee ID and employee name is called as a variable? It differs from one candidate to another. So that's why these are called variables. Okay, I hope you know that. Okay, employee ID, employee name, basic pay, extra benefits, age, test mark, etc. See, by using SPSS and compute, what we need to compute? Total salary of all employees. Okay, all employees. We need to compute total salary of all employees with the help of SPSS, and also use variable basic pay. Use the variable basic pay to compute salary class and create test mark variable based on that test. So we need to do 3 things. First one, compute the total salary. Compute the total salary of each employee. Then we need to compute salary class. Next, we need to compute test rank. There is a test conducted by the company. So marks is given. So we need to compute the test rank. So the procedures are given. First, we have to start the software and all. Okay, next. When the SPSS open up, it will show the data. Okay, it will show the data. When the software enters, when we enter the software, it will show the data view. Then we need to select the variable view. Okay, need to select the variable view. I hope everyone is following me. Okay. Yes. RDIS is submitting. Okay, fine. Okay, see, so we choose the variable view option. Next, create the variables. We need to create the variables. So first variable is employee ID. Okay, right? So we need to type the name employee ID. Employee ID. So I'm typing employee ID. So in variable view, when we are creating a variable, if the variable name has two words, that is employee is one word, ID is another word. We can't leave a space in between employee and between ID. So we need to fill the space by using an underscore. Okay, use an underscore. So we cannot leave a space in between. We use the space to be filled with underscore. Okay, don't forget about it. Don't forget about it. We need to fill the space between the name of the variable with the help of a underscore. Okay, don't forget about it. Okay, first one is employee ID. Next is what the type of the variable we need to mention. So we have several type of variable. See, variable type, it is numeric variable is there, comma, dot, scientific notation, date, dollar, custom currency, string, restricted, numeric, etc. Okay, you have these types of variables are there. So we know ID number is always a numerical variable. Okay, so we can do what we can do. So we'll just define the variable is as numeric. So we are defining the variable as numeric. So select, we can choose which type of variable can be used. Okay, so if it is numeric. Okay, okay, then width, number of, okay, number of characters in it. So we know when we are going for a university exam, you have a university registration number. Okay, the number of the digits in the registration number will be same for every candidate, right? The first two numbers represent the year of the exam conducting on. Then next two numbers based on the course you are opted for. Okay, next on the branch you are opted for. Then your serial number will be complete like that. So we need to count the number of digits in it. So how many digits are there? We need to specify in the bit. Okay. So by default it will come as 8. Okay. So we can give it as 8. There is no decimal places for employee ID number, right? So we can make it as 0. Okay. There is default. By default it will come 2. We need to make it as 0. Label means employee ID. That is our name of the variable. It shows, it need to show some, if the name is a question, okay, if we are filling up with a questionnaire, the first variable will be a question. Okay, but in the data view, there's a small space, right? Data view variable will be a small piece, right? See the employee ID, it is depicted in the small piece. So for representing a question, so representing a question in the name, we can use the label, maybe a question number 1, a question number 2, or something like that. Okay, so we can label a question by using the label option. So here employee ID is a small one, so we can you no need to use a label, right? Then values means we can enter some values. That is, for example, if there is a question, what? Okay, see, like we need to express our gender, male or female or others. We have 3 options: male, female, or others. That we can enter here. Value of male is 1. The label is male. We can add it. Okay, I will explain with the question. Okay, and the next one. Next option comes. Okay, so no need to give values for employee ID. Missing and all, if someone miss out some question or something, what we need to do? Okay, how the cell is filled, that can be expressed in the missing option. Next is columns. How many columns should be provided for filling the question? Then alignment. Alignment. Employee ID should be shown left, right, or center. Okay, we can choose it as center. See the question. See the question I am giving. See, it is given right, so we can choose it right. Okay. Then measure. Measure is very much important. This is very much important. We need to understand the types of measure. We have three types of measure. First one is scale, next one is ordinal, and the third one is nominal. Okay. So we need to understand these three types of measure. Okay. Three types of measure. For example, employee name. Okay. Employee name is a nominal measure because one name cannot be come after another name. Okay, one name cannot be come after another name. Every name has an equal importance, right? Okay, so name of a person can be treated as a nominal variable. Okay, I hope you have got what is a nominal variable. Clear? Okay, so the importance of one respondent over the other respondent cannot be identified in this nominal variable. Next is ordinal variable. Ordinal variable, employee ID is an ordinal variable because ID number 1 will come out, then ID number 2 will come after ID number 1, ID number 3 will come after ID number 2. So there is an order for the variable. Okay, there is an order for the variable. If the variable follows a particular order, then that variable is an ordinal variable. Okay, right? So employee ID is an ordinal variable, so we can choose ordinal. Okay, fine. Next, we are going to the scale variable. What is a scale? Scale is a variable that we are entering based on a scale. For example, height. Height is a scaled variable. Weight is a scaled variable. Right? Length of a particular object is a scaled variable. If a variable that we are obtaining by measuring something is with the help of a measure, then it is called scaled variable. Okay, here if the variable that is bound for a measure, then it is a scaled variable. So employee ID under which measure? Under which measure? Scale, ordinal, or nominal? It is ordinal variable because it depicts, it represents an order of a variable. Employee ID is an order of a variable. It's an ordinal variable. Clear? Fine. Okay. Then what type of variable is it? Whether it is input, it is a target, or input and target both. It is not. It is none. Partition split. Which type of variable? We used to give it as a input. Okay. Normally, for all variables we used it as an input. If we don't put input, we can't do a statistical test on it. Fine. Okay. So see the question, see the procedures in the question, right? So we have entered employee ID, that is numeric width. It is given in the question 2, right? So I'll keep it as 2. Okay. Decimal is 0. Labels not defined. Values not defined. Missing not defined. Columns 8. Then align right. Measure ordinal, and then rod input. Next one is we are going to the next variable, that is employee name. employee underscore name. Employee underscore name. Don't leave the space over here. Okay. Employee name. What type of variable is this? Okay, we know that employee name should be depicted in alphabets, right? So alphabets will be included in string variables. Okay, string variables. So we type okay. So the length of the name, that is width. How many characters are should be included? So maximum we can give 20 spaces for filling the names. Okay, no need of decimals, automatically it came. If we have given the type of variable as string, automatically the decimal will come to 0. The label is none, variable we are leaving. Okay, then we are coming to the columns. How many columns we can provide? Okay, next align, we can give it as a center align. Okay, center align. What type of variable? If it is string variable, we have only two options of variable. What is that? Ordinal and nominal. Why scale is not provided? Okay, if a scaled variable should only be depicted in numerical values, right? Scaled variables can only be depicted in numerical values. So this is a string variable, so we cannot uh, categorize it as a scaled variable. Only we have two options. One is ordinal and the other is nominal, right? So choose which option. Nominal. There is no order for the names, right? So we can give it nominal. Okay. It's also used as an input. Next, we are going to basic pay. The basic pay of each employee. Okay. Basic payment or basic salary of each employee. So I'm entering the variable like that. Basic underscore. Okay. Basic pay. There is a payment. How much salary they are getting. So it is a what type of variable? It is a numeric variable. We can select it's a numeric variable. Width we can give it as 6. Okay, 6 maximum. So 6 means maximum we can enter the value up to 9,99,999. That's all. Okay. Fine. The decimals, if you need to provide decimals, all of the decimals. So this here 0. Then the labels, values, listing. Okay, I'm leaving all those columns. Then alignment, we'll give it a right for everything, or for all the numerical values, we'll give it right. For all the string variables, we used to give it sender. Okay. Then basic pay, this type of measure, it is a scaled measure. So we used to give it as a scaled measure. Then it is also an input. Next, see in the question. Next, we are going for extra benefits other than the basic pay. If any other benefits that they're getting from the employer, that is extra benefits. For example, commission, fees, DNS allowance or package or something. Okay, like that. Extra benefits. In between the words, we need to apply underscore. Okay, don't forget about it. And it is also numeric. Provide with the 6. Okay. Okay. Please make your audio to mute. Okay. Please make your audio to mute. Fine. Please mute your audio. Then alignment right. This is also a scaled one. Next, we are explaining the age, about the variable age. Okay, age width is width to a maximum of 2. Okay, I limit the width to 2. Okay, then decimals should be 0. There is no decimals. Okay, then we are coming to the measure. Age, which type of measure? It is not a scaled, it is an ordinal. Okay, so age is an ordinal one. It is wrongly, okay, it is an ordinal one actually, but if we know, if we need to do some statistical procedure on the age, we can keep it as a scaled. Okay, we can keep it as a scaled. If you don't want to do a statistical procedure on that, then keep it as an ordinal. Then again, another one, test marks. Test marks. It is also numeric. Out of 100, the mark is provided, so we can make the width as 2. Decimals, can we make it as 0? Make it as 0. Then it is also a scale. So we have designed all the variables based on the characteristics. Okay, then we are moving on to, now we are in the variable view, moving on to the data view. See the data view. Okay, what we have defined, what all the variables we have defined in the variable view is depicted in the variables in the data view. Okay, as variables. First variable is employee ID, then employee name, basic pay, extra benefits, age, and test marks. I hope you are clear about it, right? Then next procedure, we are coming across the next procedure. We need to enter the details of the respondents. Okay. See, after describing the, see the question in the, see the question in the WhatsApp. Question number 1. See, after describing the variables, go to the data view and see the names of the variables at the top of each column and enter the values of each case in the corresponding column. So on the top of each column, you can see the defined variables in the variable view. Okay, fine. So we're gonna enter each variables on the respondents. Okay, so see, first one is employee ID 18002055. Okay, first variable ID is 18002055. What is the next one? 19001025. Right? We can enter the details with that. Okay. So we have designed employee ID as a numeric variables, right? So if we enter an alphabet, if we enter his name, like Anandu, my name, Anandu, okay? We have typed my name over there, and if you press in any other case, it automatically raised. Why? ID is raised automatically, okay? Because we have defined that variable as a numeric variable. We can't include an alphabet in that. Okay, so automatically the system will erase that alphabet from the code, right? From the variable, it automatically erases the alphabet. Clear? Okay, fine. Okay. So first employee name is Vinu Varghese. See, name is Vinu Varghese. I'm typing the name of the, we can enlarge it, see, we can enlarge the variable. Okay, fine. See the name Vinu Varghese. It is given as Vinu Varghese. Next, so we all know that employee name is defined as a string variable. It is defined as a string variable. Okay, So we can enter alphabets. So suppose I enter some numericals in this field. Okay, I enter some numericals in this field. 2 by 3, 3. It will show. It will show in the variable. Why? String means it is a combination of alphabets along with the numericals. Okay, if someone is writing the name in numerical expressions, that can also be included in the string variable. Okay, fine. So in a numerical value, we cannot add a alphabet, but in a string value, we can also enter a numerical value. Okay, so there is no problem for entering a numerical value in a under a string variable. Clear? Okay. So I'm deleting that. What is the second name? Second name is CBM. CBM. Actually, we have to go on horizontal basis because the details of each respondent should be entered from a questionnaire. So we'll go like that. Okay. So basic pay of Binu Varghese is 86,000. Extra benefit he is getting is 10,000. Age is 45. Test mark is also 45. See, fine. Next, we are going to the CBM. What's his basic pay? 15,000. Sorry, 15,000. Next is 2,000. Next age is 25. Test mark is 12. Okay. Next employee ID 18003046. Who is that? Mini Hari. Name of the respondent is Mini Hari. Then basic pay is 28,000. Extra benefit is 5,000. Age is 34. The test mark is 14. Next 1800. Sorry, 1800 5023. George J. Name is George J. George J. His basic pay is 54,000. Extra benefit is 7,500. Age is 41. Next, test mark is 30. Next is 19002301. James George. James George. James George. Basic pay 23,000. Next is 3,200. Age is 28. Test mark is 78. Next 19004058. Salium. Salium. 14,000 basic pay. 1,500 extra benefit. Age 36. Test mark 46. Next is 205062. I'm also entering the other one too. 2302. Fine. Sony B. Sonam G. entering the basic pay 12,000. The last one 10,000. Okay. 1,200 extra benefit and 800 extra benefit. Age is 23 and 22. Then test mark is 52, 52 and 32. Okay. Likewise, it is given. See. Okay. So we have entered as per the question given in that. So what are the things that we need to compute from it? First one is that compute total salary, right? Compute a new variable called total salary. Okay. So what do you mean by the total salary? It is actually the summation of basic pay plus extra benefits that an employee is getting. It is a summation of basic pay plus extra benefit. Summation of basic pay and extra benefit. So we need to compute a new variable, right? New variable. What is the name of that variable? Total salary. How to do that? Okay. The procedure is given with the question itself. See, for creating a new variable, total salary, we should follow the following steps, right? See, first we need to go to the menu bar. In that, we need to choose transform. See, we have chosen transform. From that, we need to take compute variable. What we need to take? We need to take compute variable. Okay, clicking on that compute variable. Compute variable dialog box appear. Okay, compute variable dialog box came up. Okay, so first we need to define target variable. Okay, so what we are deriving from the existing variables. What are the existing variable? Basic pay plus, what is the variable? Basic pay plus extra benefit, right? So what we are getting at it? Total salary. So the target variable should be total underscore salary. Okay, don't forget to include underscore. Otherwise, the name will not fit. See, okay. So total salary. Then we need to explain. We need to define the numerical expression with the help of existing variables. What are the existing variables? Employee ID, employee name, basic pay, extra benefits, age, customer. In each of the variable, it is given, see, some icon is given with it, right? So it depicts the measure of the variable. This icon depicts ordinal variable. This icon depicts nominal variable. This icon depicts scaled variable. This scaled one, scaled one, scaled one, and scaled one. Right? So basic pay. What is the formula for calculating total salary? Basic pay plus extra benefit. So basic pay, we need to transform this basic pay with using the arrow icon. See, basic pay. Then we need to add with it, right? So we need to give the sign plus, basic pay plus extra benefit. Extra benefit also we need to move. See, okay, right? So we need to give the formula by using the existing variables. What are the existing variables? Basic pay and the extra benefits. Okay, right? Then we need to click. Okay. So see, another window arises. This window is called output window. When I explained in first introductory section, I have told you several times what input and output is stored and depicted separately. So input is there in the data view of SPSS window, and output is there shown separately in the output window. See, compute total salary, that is basic plus extra benefit, is given in the output window, and already that is changed. Here, new variable arises. What is that? Total salary. See, in the total salary, there are two decimals are showing, right? So if we don't want to show decimals, what we need to do? Go to the variable view. Okay, here decimal is given as 2, make it 0. Okay, make it 0. Enter, then come to the data view. There is no decimals. Clear? Fine. Okay, we need to, if we need to remove the decimal places, there is what we need to do. Go to the variable view. Take the decimals from 2 to 0. That's it. Fine. Okay. So we computed a new variable called total salary. I hope you have got. Okay. I got it. Let me check the respondents. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, fine. Okay. So we have computed the first one, first variable. What is it? Total salary. Okay. What is the next? Given in the question, what is the next process we need to give? The variable basic pay to compute salary class. So from the data we need to take what? Basic pay. Based on the variable basic pay, we need to compute another variable called salary class. Okay. See the procedures given in that for creating a new variable salary class from the existing variable basic pay. Follow the steps. See which option, which menu? Transform menu. Go to the transform menu. From that, we need to take a record into different variable. Record into different variable. Why this option? Here, the existing variable will give you an information about the basic pay. How much is your basic pay? Okay. Now we are creating, recording that variable into a salary class variable. Okay. We are recording the existing basic pay variable to another class of variable. Okay. So we are deriving a new variable from an existing variable. So we used to take the option record into different variable. We have taken record into different variable. See the question. Okay. In that record into different variable dialog box appears. See, I hope you can see the dialog box. Clear? Okay. From the box. In the left hand side, you can see employee ID, employee name, basic pay, extra benefits, age, test mark, salary. Why this employee ID is showing scaled one? Let me check. Let me check. Employee ID has accidentally came with the scale. It is an ordinary one. Okay. 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 Sorry for the inconvenience. Transform, record into different variable. Fine. Fine. Okay. Now it is an ordinary. Employee ID, employee name, basic pay, extra benefits, age, does not. Now the new variable also came. What is that? Total salary. Here. Okay. So based on which variable? Basic pay. So the variable we need to move. Basic pay to which one? Which variable? That we need to enter. Which variable? Salary class. Salary. Enter the name of the new variable. Salary class. Fine. Label we need to give. You can give, no problem. Then change. Press change. Okay. So in the middle box you can see it is given basic pay to salary class. From the existing variable basic pay, we are creating an output variable. What is an output variable? Salary class. Okay. We need to mandatorily press the change option. Fine. Okay. Next, we need to go to the old and new value. See, press the old and new value. Okay, old and new value. Here we can enter the range. Okay, enter the range. So option to take range. Okay. So from 0 to 20,000. So we are categorizing it as five categories, five range. Okay. What is that? 0 to 20,000, 20,000 to 40,000, 40,000 to 60,000, 60,000 to 80,000. What is the range? Okay. So 0 to 20,000. So it is coming from the upside down. Right? It's coming from the upside down. That is 80,000 to 1 lakh. 1 lakh. Okay. Value should also be given. Value is class is okay. Here the salary class, the variable salary class will be displaying the alphabets A, B, C, D, and D as per the question. See, right? The output variable salary class. Clear? It is given as A, B, C, D, and E, right? Okay. So they are a string variable. Here, if you are the output should be a string variable, we need to tick on the output variables are strings. See, okay, in the window, output variables are strings. We need to make it on. Okay, then only we can enter the value A over it. Okay, then press add. 80,000 to 1 lakh, A. Right. Next, 60,000 to 79,899. Right. Add value. Make add. The participants kindly mute the audio. 40,000. Next class is 40,000 to 59,999. The value C. Add it. Then again 20,000 to 40,000. Sorry, 39,999. Make the value to D. Right? Add it. Again from the range 0 to 19,999. Add. Okay. We have entered all the ranges, that is 80,000 to 1 lakh. The salary class range will be A. Okay. Next is 60,000 to 79,999. It is B class. Between 40,000 to 59,999 is C class. Okay. 20,000 to 39,999 is D class. Then 0 to 19,999 it is E class. Right. Then after defining, we need to press continue. Okay. Next, press OK. Another variable also we got. You can see in the data view. See A, B, C, D, E, E, A. You can check with your basic pay. You can check with the basic pay. 86,000 is between 80,000 and 1 lakh. So it comes under salary class A. Right? 50,000 is in between 0 to 1999. Right? So it comes under E class. 28,000 is in between 20 to 40,000. It is D class. 54,000 is in between 40 to 60,000. It is in C class. 23,000 is in between 20 to 40,000. it is D class. Likewise, the all key, right? If we need to change the alignment, in the beginning I told you about the, we normally usually keep the string variables in central alignment, right? So go to the variable view, we can make the new salary class variable alignment is left is given, so we can change it as center. Okay, fine. So we can keep it as center. So alignment came in as center alignment, right? Okay. Then what is the next last question in the question? Last part of the question. We need to create test rank variable. Create a test rank variable based on the test marks. We have given the test marks over here, right? We need to create a test rank. Okay, we can create a test rank. How to create? Go to the transform using the rank cases. Go to the rank cases. Which case we need to take? Test marks, right? Based on that, based on the variable test marks, we need to create rank, right? Test marks. Okay, fine. Assign rank 1 to the largest value. From the smallest value, we need to provide rank 1. No, for the it is a mark, right? So highest, those who are scoring highest mark will be ranked 1, right? So we need to take largest value, right? Okay. Then rank type. Okay, it is rank only. Continue. Press okay. One more key. See, we need to change the decimal. Okay, decimal is given 3. Make it a 0. See the rank also came. See, based on the test marks, 78 is the highest one. So rank 1. James George is ranked 1. Who is second? Who is for second rank? Tony B with test mark 52. Right. So based on that, we can rank the test marks. Fine. I hope you have covered the question number 1 in complete satisfaction like this. Okay. Any doubts regarding this question? You can share in the chat. I'm checking the chat right now. Anyone having any doubts, you can ask now in the chat box. I'll wait for 2 minutes. You can ask any doubts regarding the question I have to explain now. Yes. Yes, salary class is based only on the basis of basic pay only. Okay, only on the base of the variable basic pay we have calculated the total salary class. Total salary we use both the base of basic pay and also the extra benefits, right? Yes. Yes. You can also, okay, which version of SPS is this? Okay, sure, I'll send the PPT. No worry. After the session, I'll send it. Okay. 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 So let us move to the question number 2. Let us move to the question number 2. Okay. Okay. If you need to save, this data, you can just go to the save or save as button. You can click and save it. Okay. No problem. Like other softwares do, you can save it. No problem. Okay. Next, take the question number 2 from the WhatsApp. Take question number 2 from the WhatsApp. Okay. So I'm doing another question, right? So I'm taking a new database. Okay. So file new data. File new. So a blank database appears. Okay. So let's see the question. Question number 2 is a simple one. Okay. It is based on a market research. Okay. So I have told you in the introduction about the market researchers, like a car manufacturer can study on the color preference of a customer, car color preference of a customer. So based on that, I have created a question on that. See, record the color of each car parked in a parking lot. In a parking lot, there are enormous number of cars are there. So what we are recording, the color of the car we are recording. Okay. So we have got the data and they represent the result in different form by chart using SPSS. We need to give a chart representation. So how we are giving a chart representation on the result. Okay. So let's see. Solution is open. Okay. IBS is slide 623. Version is 23. Okay. By clicking the icon on the desktop. Okay. When the SPSS opens up the data view and the variable of the data view, you can see it on the screen. And then we have to take what? Variable view. Click on the variable view. Variable view came. Only one variable is there in the shed. Okay, only one variable. What is the variable? Car color. Correct. Car color. So create the variable car color. Car underscore color. Fine. Car color. What type? It is a string variable. Okay. Okay. We can give no problem. Okay, whatever is nominal input. Fine. Only one variable I have given, car color. Next, we are randomly giving the colors to the data. In the data, we are giving the colors randomly. So given like that, given in the question, first one is white, right? White. Next is red. Just give it like that. Red, then black. Then again black. Again black. Black. Then again red. Red. Silver. Silver. White. Red. Again red. Then black. Then white. Black. White. Silver. Last one red. There are 15 cars in the parking lot. I have just recorded the color of the car one by one after another. Okay, it comes like white, red, black, 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 then red, silver, again silver, white, red, again red, black, white, silver, and red. Right? Okay. I've given like that. So I need to give a graphical representation. For that, I need to go to analyze option. Okay, go to the analyze option. From that descriptive statistics, see descriptive statistics. Okay, fine. Okay, in that frequencies, you take frequencies. Wait 1 second. Analyze descriptive statistics frequency. Okay, only one variable is provided, car color. Just move it to the right column. Then on the right side, we have several options: statistics, charts, format, style, bootstrap, etc. So we need to represent it as a chart. So we need to take which one? Charts. Okay. So we have three types of charts we can depict: bar chart, pie chart, and histograms. I like pie chart, so I choose pie chart as an option. Okay, then the chart values will be represented as a frequency or percentage. Which one? Anything you can. Based on the frequency, value should be frequencies or percentage. Which one you can? I took percentage as the value. Then then press continue. Then okay. In the output window, we will get the output as the pie chart. You can scroll down. Or pie chart order analysis. Okay, okay. I'm closing. Wait. Again, analyze descriptive statistics, frequency, car color, shots. I'll go to the frequency. Go display table. Okay. Need to get the output. Sorry. Car color. It is processing. That pie chart is processing. Yes. See the pie chart. See the pie chart. Okay. This represent black, and this represent red color, and this represent silver, and this represent white. Okay. See the values are given. See. Okay. Along with that, table is also given. See, there are 4 black cars are there. 5 red cars are there. 3 silver cars are there. 3 white are there. Total 15 cars were parking in the parking lot. Right? Okay. You got it. So likewise, we can see the pie chart from the output window. Okay. So question 2 is over. So anyone having doubt can ask in the chat box. Okay. So let's go to the last question. After that, we can wind up the session with the last question. Okay. So again, go to file, new data, file, new data. Okay. Fine. Go to the third question. Question number 3. Question number 3. Oh, sorry. The same question came right now. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The third question is a duplicate of the first question only. It came accidentally, so I'm sorry for that. Okay, I'll come with extra questions in the next section. The same question of the first question only. So it's actually an error, and I regret based on that. Okay. So that's all. So you need to just keep in mind about something that, just see, there are types of variables are given as numeric, comma, dot, scientific notation, date, dollar, custom currency, swing, restricted numeric, etc. So see, in this thing, we need to include the date of birth of these employees. Okay. So if we need to enter the date of birth of these employees, we need to add one more variable. So how to add insert a variable? Go to edit. Okay. So first click on the variable, then go to edit. Click on the variable, go to edit, then insert variable. So if you select a variable and going to edit window and click insert variable, the new variable will be coming on the left side of the selected variable, right? The new variable will be coming on the left side of the selecting variable, right? Fine. Then we have to define the variable. Go to the which one? Variable view. Then rename it. What is their name? Rename date of birth, right? Date of means date of. Don't give a space. Use underscore, right? Birth. Date of birth is what kind of a variable? It is a date variable. It is a date variable. You need to select the format of the date. Okay, date should be like month, day, year, day, month, year. Which one you want to take? It is date. Okay, I choose this one. Then okay, okay, it will automatically come as 10. Okay, then what type of a measure? It is an ordinal measure, right? It is an ordinal measure. Okay, it's an input. Fine, go to the data view. Okay, so we can enter the date of birth. See, okay, you can just type it like 626 10 1993. Okay. You do it like 26 dot 10 dot 1993. Add dot. Okay. Then 36 1999. Okay, then 15 to 2000, then 1 1 2000, and 2 3 2001, 5 6 1998, 5 7 1997. Okay, like this we can add the date of birth. 5 7 1997. Okay, fine. You can add the date of birth. Fine. Then going to the PPT. So scientific notation, date, dollar, currency. These are the types of variables. So mandatorily you need to understand the difference between the type of the measures: nominal, ordinal, and scale. Okay. So by this I end my session. I have completed with the two